U.S. Code, Title 18, Part 953, Private Correspondence with Foreign Governments. Any citizen of the United States, whoever he may be, who without the authority of the United States directly or indirectly commences or carries on any correspondence or intercourse with any foreign government or any officer or agent thereof with the intent to influence measures or conduct of any foreign government or of any officer or agent thereof in relation to any disputes or controversies with the United States, or to defeat the measures of the United States, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years, or both. It appears that Barack Obama has violated this law. This is also known as the Logan Act, and it is a felony. Quoting from an article in today's New York Post, while campaigning in public for a speedy withdrawal of U.S. troops from Iraq, Senator Barack Obama has tried in private to persuade Iraqi leaders to delay an agreement on a downdraw of the American military presence. According to Iraqi Foreign Minister Zabari, Obama made his demand for a delay a key theme of his discussions with Iraqi leaders in Baghdad during his trip there last July. He asked why we were not prepared to delay an agreement until after the U.S. elections and the formation of a new administration in Washington. Obama insisted that Congress should be involved in negotiations on the status of U.S. troops, and that it was in the interest of both sides not to have an agreement negotiated by the Bush administration in a state of weakness and political confusion. However, as an Iraqi, I prefer to have a security agreement that regulates the activities of foreign troops rather than keeping the matter open, Zabari says. Though Obama claims that the U.S. presence is illegal, he suddenly remembered that the American troops were in Iraq within the legal framework of a UN mandate. His advice was, rather than reach an accord with the weakened Bush administration, that Iraq should seek an extension of the UN mandate. While in Iraq, Obama also tried to persuade U.S. commanders, including General David Petraeus, to suggest a realistic withdrawal date, and they declined. Obama has made many contradictory statements in regard to Iraq. His latest position is that the U.S. combat troops should be out by 2010, yet his effort to delay an agreement would make that withdrawal deadline impossible to meet. Supposing he wins, Obama administration would be fully operational before February, and naming a new ambassador to July and forming a new negotiation team would take longer still. By then, Iraq would be in the throes of its own campaign season, and judging by the past 2 elections, forming a new coalition government may then take 3 months, so the Iraqi negotiating team might not be in place until next June. Then, judging by how long the current talks have taken, restarting the process from scratch would leave the 2 sides needing at least 6 months to come up to a draft accord. That puts us into May of 2010. For when the draft might be submitted to the Iraqi parliament, which might well need another 6 months to pass into law. And thus the 2010 deadline fixed by Obama is meaningless concept, thrown in as a sop to his anti-war base. According to Zabari, the envisioned time span is 2 or 3 years, departure in 2011 or 2012. That would let Iraq hold its next general election, the 3rd since the liberation, and resolve a number of domestic political issues. Even then, the dates mentioned are only notional, making the time and the cadence of a withdrawal conditional on realities on the ground as appreciated by both sides. It appears that Barack Obama has no intention of withdrawing our troops or ending the war in Iraq. In other words, Barack Obama still wants the war in Iraq to appear as a failure, as a quagmire, as a pig with lipstick, or any other adjective that you'd like to use to mean defeat. It appears that what Barack Obama is trying to do is make it appear as if the Bush administration failed, and that it was only by his personal intervention that he was able, after several years of dealing with this total failure and disaster by the Bush administration, for him to finally straighten it out, overcome the problems, and withdraw the troops in his second term. From all appearances, this is what Barack Obama had planned. Not only had he been bad-mouthing America in many of his speeches while he traveled to Europe, but now here we have proof that he was undermining the Bush administration and their plans on dealing in the war in Iraq, and he had no intention of withdrawing our troops, as he has said all along in his campaign. Thanks for listening.